episode, we are discussing a reintroduction to the new you. Stay tuned. Don't miss this one.
Welcome to Redefining You podcast. This is a safe space where we are inspiring and encouraging others to intentionally redefine themselves. So, episode 3 though.
Dope.
Woo. Muffin cap blown back, glue your lace front down, ladies. Like, catch your edges because they're running, slipping, falling. But episode 4 though. Hi, my name is Who. Redefining ourselves and reintroducing yourself. This is like the portion of the journey where this is where it counted to me the most.
Right.
This is where the previous work was like the backstory of this is what led me to this point. This is the pinnacle. That's the word I want to use.
Right.
This is the pinnacle of the journey because it was either up or down during this portion. It was a lot of downs. Then it was some valleys. Then it was the path was not straight because we had to dig it out during this season, right? So when I think about it in reintroducing yourselves, first thing that comes to mind is the question of who are you? So
that's such a good question because I remember when we were asked that question.
How did that
and
mess
we
go?
That was a mess. Yeah, we were a mess. But we connected the dots. And we realized we were supposed to be here with you, telling you about how much we were a mess to help everybody now. That's why we're so transparent. Because we walked through it already.
Yeah. Won't he do it?
Well, he will do it.
Will he won't? I don't know if that's the same, but I always say that. I really don't know where I got that from. I think this is a backwards mess I made up, but won't he do it? And I was like, ooh, Willie won't. I
don't know. But
I'm from South Carolina, y'all. I'm sorry.
But we're here. We made it.
Yes. Lord.
To the other side.
So let me show y'all an example of the growth. Brittany S. Wright. Who are you?
I am my father's child, right?
First and foremost,
I am my father's child. I was about to use some words that go with my father because I am Christ-like. I am valuable. I am worthy. I am accepting. I am nurturing. I could keep going.
Oh, okay.
But
I was all into it. Today I was all calm, but ooh.
I am peace. I am a safe space. I am lovable. I could keep going. However, I am what I have defined myself as and what God defines me as. And when I say that, it's not based off of the things that I do as far as roles. It's not based off of just what I may provide. But first, all the things I am to me.
I love that.
Right? So I am nurturing for myself. When I'm overwhelmed or, I don't want to use overwhelmed because not say I get there a whole lot, but when I feel like I have a lot going on, I know to say, girlfriend, we got to take a break. So you got some things happening, we need to provide a safe space for yourself, right? I do provide safe spaces for other people, but first, what I am for me is what I am. Right?
Yeah.
I am peace. I'm peace for me. Yeah. I provide an environment of peace for me. What are you?
That's so good. Pause for thought.
I'm sorry. I get caught in it just thinking of where we've come in it. So how far we've come in this. So
you're grateful. You're proud as you deserve to be. You put that work in, and you should be all that you are because you did the work. And just to piggyback on what you said, I don't know if you guys caught episode 3, but just now, Brittany gave the best, vivid, live example of emotions are your indicators, not your narratives. because she said, when I am overwhelmed, but hold on, I don't like to say that I'm overwhelmed. When I feel like I have a lot going on, because you feel like a lot is going on. Right. But then I come back because your behavior, unhealed, unwhole, or unhealed, not whole, not healthy, right, not balanced, or imbalanced is the word. We would say, I feel overwhelmed and therefore I'm shutting down. You said, as a whole human being and a healthy child of God, you said, when I feel overwhelmed, I am peace. I am nurturing to myself. I take a moment to take care of myself. You gave the actions behind it. Like, that's so good, y'all. Y'all, my sis is like, I know a lot of people don't know, I'm the older sister. Somehow. But God just wanted me to be there first. However, she is my safe space, and I'm so grateful, and I give God all the glory to it because it's beautiful to see where you are now. Mm-hmm. And I'm watching you live out loud and thrive in a whole nother space than you've ever done. And it's gorgeous. Like, it's the fit of confidence. Like, shout out to Gym Fit. So we are in Gym Fit from top to bottom right now. We are. Brittany, what's Gym Fit?
I was about to say, because I was going to let you just go.
Everybody know I'm a walking billboard.
She really is.
I can sell the clothes off your back.
She was about to flow. So Gym Fit Apparel, we call it Gym Fit, is my athleisure brand that I created after having a baby and wanting to get back to me, reintroducing myself to this new mindset I had. And I wanted all women to feel exactly what I felt. At the time, I needed to build my confidence back. You know, after you have a baby, we don't feel like ourselves. And I was like, hey, if I go to the gym or start some kind of workout, if I'm cute, I'm going to keep going. And that's honestly how I got back into my workout routines. And I was cute. I had my little shoes matching. And I got back in and I kept going and I kept going. But not only that, I was comfortable going because I became comfortable in my mind because of what I saw. My behaviors began to change because of my habits, because my habits began to change. But not only that, I got this new baby. I need to be comfortable, right? I need things that fit me and my new hips, and breastfeeding and just needing to throw in something really quick with this baby and go. And I wanted to be cute at the same time. So I didn't see a whole lot of that, so I created it myself. And now we're in it.
I love it.
So definitely check out the website, gymfitapparel.com. We have lots for women. We're moving to men's, and we're also going to be creating children. So we're just growing. I'm excited. I'm glad we got to wear it because we're like comfortable.
Yeah.
Cute and comfortable.
Listen, like, let me help y'all out. Like, this is the real me. This is the identity version of this is me. Like, comfy, chic, hair down, like, big hoops, chilling.
The fit of confidence, no matter where you are, with who, how. You want to be cute, you want to be confident in everything that you're doing. So that's what we stand for.
I love it. I'm even going to add to that because, so Gym Fit is sponsoring this episode, obviously.
Absolutely. We are sponsoring.
But I do want to add one other piece in there, which is, ladies, what sizes does Gym Fit range from?
I should definitely have added that.
Yep,
small
I got you.
To 3XL. So we have sizes for everybody.
That part. So that's one of the things that I definitely wanted to add in there so that others will know, like, no matter what size you are, like, you cover majority of the masses in sizes. So that's such a beautiful thing. I love Gym Fit. Everybody knows, like, literally, I was on a Zoom call 5:30 this morning and was asked about my outfit. And literally, first thing here's the website, shop Gym Fit Apparel on social media. Like, you can find it. It is luxury level athleisure clothes. Like, there's lining on the, like, y'all, listen, I can't preach on it. I'm comfortable. I've literally self-care days. I'm sorry, clients. At least I'm gonna be cute when I'm out. I'm not gonna be in a standard, workout outfit, crop top or whatever. And if I am, even with Gym Fit, sometimes, we got the crop top jackets, we have the sweatshirts, like she has the sweatshirts and stuff that I can put over it. I am cute when I'm out. So
she is, and she's not just saying that because she's my sister. Let me just go ahead and say that. She literally wears Gym Fit everywhere.
Yes.
I don't care if she's going to get her nails done, her hair done. I'm like,
on self-care day, I am a walking billboard. Like, that's my go-to.
Yeah.
I have identified gym fit as a part of my self-care routine at this point, because I feel so good. The bands on the pants, like, hold me so right. Like, they all the bloat and bloat and whatever I was feeling, like, from whatever I ate last night or whatever, just suck it. Listen, all the way back up. So.
And that's what I pushed for and wanted to create something that was always going to make women feel like they're their best selves, even if you're bloated, even if something else is going on. After you have a baby, we don't feel like ourselves then, right? That's a different you at that time, right? So I wanted all women to always feel comfortable and confident in whatever they were wearing, no matter where they were going. So
shout out Jim Fit.
Shout out Jim Fit. We've done a whole ad.
That part. Now, but one thing, is speaking of, let's segue that into the values portion, right? Because I love what you did. When I asked you who you are, you did not go straight into, I am the CEO, owner of Gym Fit, founder and owner of Gym Fit, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister. No, you went straight into values. You went straight into considerably like attributes and beliefs, a belief system of yourself.
Right.
So I absolutely love that. Now you asked me, who am I? Who is Noel?
Yeah.
So I am a woman of God. I am rooted in the Word of God. I am God's wife, and He is my husbandman. Y'all always hear me say that because that's a whole revelation for me.
Right.
I am powerful. I am the voice for many.
Right.
I am loving. I represent reciprocity in the flesh.
Right.
I am disciplined. I am dependable. There's so much.
Right.
I am peaceful. I am joyful. I am all-encompassing of believing beyond the natural.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm a lot.
That's what I said. Would say that.
I know, and it's so funny because people used to say that about me, and I used to kind of take it. I used to internalize it, like it hurt a little. That just means that, like, I'm a lot, and it's like it's too much for other people, kind of do for them. No longer. I'm a lot now. It's like I am all these things. God has favored me so much that I believe that I am worthy of all of these things. Yeah. I am more than enough. Yeah. Because He says I'm more than enough. Yeah. He's Jehovah Jireh, and through that, if I see myself and made in the likeness of Him, then I am more than enough. Right. And I walk with my head high. I am confident beyond this world of confidence. So all of these things. So what you just heard from us was us describing core values. So core values are very different than the roles that you play in the world, in society. Right. Core values to us in our journey to healing and wholeness and balance to harmony. Core values was, like I said, it's like the pinnacle point where we realized that we had to redefine ourselves and our beliefs in ourselves and the beliefs that we believed about ourselves and the beliefs that we said about ourselves in order for us to identify who we are, to be able to get to the step of understanding and embracing and accepting our identity. Right. That's what the core values did for us.
Absolutely.
So it took us a minute because honestly, like, I remember the exercise. It was a list of things, right? And it was like, pick your top 6 or something like that.
Top 6.
Pick your top 6, right? And boy, I struggled.
I definitely struggled.
It
didn't feel natural because we're so used to labels as roles.
Yep. We thought our roles and labels were our identity. Yeah. And I remember that time, that call, that session, where it was like, who are you? And I bawled crying. Right. And I was just like, I couldn't even get out. I was a mess because I could barely even get out. I was a mom and a realtor, right? Like, I couldn't even get that out. So, but it was so defying to get to the point where you could put down a top 6. And when I say I struggled, like, I think I, like, added 2 on there because I was like, well, I remember somebody said this about me before, right? And then now I'm able to go back and change those to be able, you know what I'm saying? I was able to change them, and like just now I'm able to just literally rattle off.
Yeah.
I'm way more than 6 things.
Right.
I'm a lot because I'm more than enough, right?
Right.
But that's where it was leading us to. It was leading us to this place where we were able to identify with ourselves and accept ourselves to be able to say, I am more than enough.
Right.
I am content with me. I am safe with me first.
Right.
I love me.
I love me. Right.
That's, oh God. So, core values, right?
Takes you back to that place, huh?
God, it's not tears yet because I'm excited to know that I know who I am. Like, right? So, core values drive behavior and they form your beliefs. How, I guess for me, I'd like to talk about like, how does core values play out in your personal life? Like in your life?
So I'll just use the example of acceptance, right? And I developed acceptance as one of my core values because at one point my triggers from not being enough. But I also realized I just like to accept people for who they are. And so with accepting people for who they are, well, first let me back up. Accepting me for who I am.
First.
Once I accepted who I am, then I said, I always want to be accepted for who I am. Therefore, I must accept others for who they are.
There you go.
Once I began to do that, then I got to dictate whether I accepted the behavior or the things that came with them in my life, right? So now I determine what comes in and what comes out based off of what's presented in front of me, right? So I know we talked about this in episode 3. Peace, putting up boundaries, right?
Yeah.
So all of the core values protect this peace, right? Those are my boundaries. My boundaries protect this peace because ultimately peace is what I desire and what I would like to keep, and that helps me continue to write my narrative and do all the things I'm supposed to do, right? That's how I operate best as me and in my gifts, right?
It allows you to flourish, and those core values that you have, they are at their highest version and level.
Absolutely.
All of them work together to make up this whole being, and this healthy and this balanced and this being, this wholeness, like the wholeness part of you. Like,
absolutely.
Minus that, you're not as creative, you're not as inspired. I can't be motivational, I can't be confident, because that's what peace is, the ultimate thing that drives all of it. It's the protection piece that just is. It allows you, it's a balance piece that allows you to be all of these things and operate and be flawless, thrive in them rather than survive.
Right, absolutely. So therefore, with that piece, I use these values to protect all of that. So yeah, I'm accepting of exactly who people are.
Right.
It's up to me now to dictate, do I accept that in my life or do I not accept them in my life? And once I dictate, that's how I maneuver through life.
Right.
So that's just, a quick example of that.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love what you said about like the boundaries portion of it. I want to dig a little bit deeper into that. So, y'all, we are coming up against everything in culture, in case y'all can't tell. Like, we are redefining not only ourselves, but how we show up in the world. Therefore, the rest of the world, because we have the power and the dominion over it, the rest of the world must shift. So as you will see this, as you get on this healing journey and as you redefine yourself, people around you begin to have these shifts, right? So what I mean by that is the world tells us that we need to have boundaries, and like we set these boundaries up to keep people out, to keep them away from us.
Right.
To keep that, it's a wall of protection to keep other things away. However, our journey exposed to us that the necessity for boundaries is to protect the internal piece of us, the belief system and the core values that we believe that we were.
Right.
So if we both say we are peace, okay? So we both say we are peace, then whenever the family calls and says, hey, I need you to come do a task, that you know is going to disrupt your day and what you already had planned to do, right? Then we come up, then in that moment is a chance for us to determine whether we're going to operate out of our true self, which is peace, or we're going to step into confusion and chaos by choosing to please some other people.
Right.
So it isn't necessarily keeping the people out, it's just choosing to set a boundary to say, no, I already have a full schedule. So my no is not no, I'm not there for you and I'm not dependable for you. It's no, because it will pull me from my peaceful place, which is I already have these things aligned for today. I need to say no in this moment because I'm unable to get to this place right now for you.
Right.
But if you had something else on another day or whatever, I would be able to accommodate that better for you.
Right.
It's just not today kind of deal, right? So that denotes people pleasing, just like you said earlier.
Absolutely.
Where we struggle with people pleasing, right? Because of abandonment, rejection, and childhood trauma. This is what the core values helped us identify. It's like, how do I protect this piece that I need, right? How do another boundary example could be, I am powerful. Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Because I thrive off of power and being powerful. So for me, I can't do what others can do. I can't go and hang out all night because that's going to throw me off of my game for tomorrow. Because in the next day, I am a leader. I am a team lead. The roles that I play. I am a team lead. I am an owner of a daycare facility. I need to show up my best self, balanced self, to be able to fulfill those roles. I need to take a balanced version of me to be able to fulfill those roles properly, or I lose. If they see me not in my best thing, I lose the power to be able to dictate and move and be able to delegate and facilitate all the operations that I'm a part of, right? So the boundaries for me is I can't operate the way that everybody else does. I need to go, I have to be disciplined, I have to go to bed early. I cannot go out and take, everybody's invitation to go out. I can't overdrink and, completely have a hangover the next day kind of deal. I'm not likely to stay outside of my house. I like to be in my bed, right? Like my bed is peace, that's my peace palace. So those are kind of boundaries that I set. It's nothing personal to anybody else. It's just protecting me so that I can operate in my best version of myself every day. So that's another one. It's just so more.
There's so
reciprocity.
Many. There's so many.
Core values and relationships. Reciprocity is huge.
Right.
When it comes down, and I'm not just talking about, I'll get into reciprocity in actual romantic relationships, but reciprocity in any ship, any situationship, any ship, personal, professional relationship, even as a realtor. I believe in reciprocity so much that to me, negotiating is the meeting of the minds. That means that a meeting of the minds means that the parties come together. So as a realtor, even though I'm a Noel the negotiator, I love negotiating and I'm great at it. How my way into negotiation, my skill set that brings me the power of the negotiation is I come in with the reciprocal mindset. My mindset is, what does your party need? So that I can present it and come to me and my party and try to help my party get to the middle, somewhere in middle ground for what your party needs. So I try to bring both parties together so that both sides, the buy side and the sell side, will walk away feeling like they both got something out of it. Reciprocity. They both feel like and they don't have to be, it's not always equal, but they both feel like it was worth them. One selling and giving up a property and one purchasing a property. Reciprocity. So when I approach the other agents, it isn't, I never go off to the other agents in a way of I'm better than you or my experience is better than you. That ain't even my job. I'm here to negotiate. I'm the middleman. So my job is to help both sides get to this middle piece. And when I got into real estate at first, it was always coming up against my core values. Always, I was challenged on experience. I was challenged on all these things. And I really had to sit and pray on those things because I was like, Lord, I know I'm called to do this and I'm great at it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gifted at this because it came from above. Kind of, I'm in this as a calling and it's a part of my purpose. And so God just had to reveal to me when we went through the core values, you know, and identifying those things and attaching them to an identity. That's what helped me realize, like, this is a part of my everyday life. Like, all the way down to, like, everything. I'm taking care of me the best way that I can take care of me so that I can be the best version of me. It's always give and a take.
Yeah. Right.
I'm disciplined and giving up on these things because I want to give off this. You know, I want to give my best version. So reciprocity is, like, huge. In romantic relationships, whoa. Like, it's just one of those things where, like,
most people don't even understand reciprocity. Let's be real, though.
Oh, yeah.
Because we usually have a lot of givers with a lot of takers. You rarely get with somebody who's a giver and a giver.
Okay.
However, you can teach people how to treat you.
There you go.
And you can tell them how to treat you. In reciprocity, there has to be some kind of communication. And it has to be spoken. It can't be expected.
There you go.
We would think it should be.
There you go.
Listen, we would think. However, not all the time it has to be spoken, but I think it seems more in romantic relationships that we're talking about it more, because let's just be real, dating is not dating anymore.
Oh, no.
It's definitely different. But I love that you brought that up about reciprocity, because we have some people out here now that just, no, this is what's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
For me.
Right.
But you're supposed to give somebody back something too. Like, just because, like, I'm trying to use my words correctly of how I want to say this, but.
Yeah. Unconditional. And I've actually, like, dated someone who challenged me on that. Like, well, you think everything is a give and a take kind of deal. Like, you're expecting something back. And I'm like, well, it's unconditional love. Reciprocity in me is the best way that I know that the relationship will be balanced. We will be supporting one another unconditionally.
Yeah.
You know? So maybe reciprocity is the condition. Yeah. You know, and that's the best way I can answer that. But for me, it even goes deeper into the relationship, because into my romantic relationship, it holds the biggest part of the capacity to me because it's my love language. My love language is acts of service. And I didn't realize all y'all people out here operating out of these other love languages. Like, it didn't even make sense to me. I was like, why do they need words of affirmation? What the words gonna do? Like, right? Like, granted, I feel like there's a blend of love languages. Like, everybody kind of shares, you know, you have multiple of them kind of deal. You can kind of figure out how to balance them all to work together for you. But mine is strong. Like, I remember taking that quiz. Shout out to Gary Chapman in his book, 5 Love Languages.
Absolutely.
A lot of people have read it.
Yes.
Definitely a big seller, bestseller. So for me, acts of service is like, that was like the aha moment in the core value, seeking and searching and identifying space. Because I was like, that's what reciprocity means. And Brittany, she can tell y'all, like, I'm going to be, here's my transparent moment. I couldn't even say the word. Y'all, I had to listen
to go listen to Lauryn Hill songs?
Yeah, y'all, I, like, when I say on repeat, and then I had to, like, try to figure out how to pause it and rewind it back just enough in Spotify. Like, well, let me let her say it again, because okay, let me not look at the word.
Because she breaks it down. Yes. She don't say it together. She breaks it down. I don't think people knew that was one word.
There you go. I don't think people know what that means, really.
I really don't.
No.
This could literally be an episode off of reciprocity.
That part. And we should just we need to redefine this episode as reciprocity. But it encompasses so much out of things. It's the balancing piece. Like, it is give and take equals balance.
But that's part of your identity. That part. That's part of your identity.
That part. And that's why I think a lot of people, when you see me, you meet me, you know me, you'll be like, she's so balanced. Like, how does she operate life at that level that she operates? And it's just like, because every facet of my life, I give something in order to receive or take something back to show up better, you know? And so it's my love language, acts of service, AKA, like, and I'm simplistic with the acts of service too. Like, I'm one of those people, like, for me, the acts of service, take something off my to-do list. Take a task away from me. Yeah. Wash the dishes. And I promise you, we're going to have a good night.
Right.
Like, point blank period. Like, I mean, when I was in the world. I'm not in the world, of the world anymore. I'm above the world right now. But just to say, like, take the clothes out of the washing machine and put them in the dryer. That, to me, reciprocates love. I receive that as love from a person. And I know when my romantic relationship is imbalanced because I overperform, because I'm trying to receive love the way that I need to receive it. I'm trying to give love the way that I wish that it was being received in that moment. Right. So I will overperform. I will do all of the tasks and more. I will do all of the household chores and cut the grass kind of deal. I won't, but that's where my boundary is, cutting grass. But it's just an example. But that's where I'm saying, like, reciprocity became everything to me when I identified it as a core value. I had to do self-reflection and internalize it and realize this is actually my identity. This is a part of my identity. This is who I am to my core. This is my soul. This is a part of my soul awareness. This is what makes me me. It makes me tick. It makes me talk. And so that's what core values are. They're the belief systems that are in your core. They're the part of your soul. They are what make up They are what make up the identity piece. Where the soul, for me, y'all, is deeper than just who you are on the inside of you. Right. Soul to me is the place where spirit, flesh, heart, mind, body all come together. Right. Where your soul kind of operates. And that's what the core values are. And so when we use boundaries, we're using boundaries to protect these things, right? And I use the boundary in romantic relationships when I find myself getting to the point where I am overperforming or feeling like I need to give love or, over give love in order to receive it. We need to have a conversation. That's where the communication comes into play, because I know that operating in that space, I will no longer have peace. I will get overwhelmed and I will feel burnt out. Right. And then my peace starts to dwindle. And so that's how you keep in balance. That's how you use these core values to get you to the next level, which that's what our core values did for us. They helped us in identity. Absolutely. This whole episode is really supposed to be about identity, but these core values are so good. We had to get y'all to the foundation part where you get a true belief system and you're using not roles, but you're using attributes. Right. And attributes that help you identify based off of life experiences, based off of who God created you to be, to help you realize who you are, to create an identity in you, to help you embrace and accept a new identity in you. Right. Because that's what I think.
I think she said a lot, and I was trying to hold on to all the things. Because we could have gone with reciprocity, okay? Yeah. We could have gone with that, because I like, what if you're a giver? And when you're a giver, you're not always looking for reciprocity, right? And then the fact of, what I also heard was love me for me, which means what my love language is and what my values are, love me for that. That goes back into the accepting part. Right. So yours is active service, your love language, right? Right. And mine is, could be physical touch. Well, I have multiple, but physical touch and words of affirmation. And what's the third one? I don't know. I don't understand why I can't think of it.
Physical touch, words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts.
Just one more. It's on the tip of my tongue because it's mine.
Oh, quality time.
Quality time. Quality time is mine. That's actually number one for me. Right. And then physical touch. And then words of affirmation. So that quality time, if you give me quality time, then I feel loved. Right? If you're loving that person the way they want to be, there you go. Is that considered reciprocity?
Yes.
Right. But some people, like you said, we're not even thinking of the word reciprocity. Correct. We keep giving other people the love that we want to receive. Yeah. However, if you communicate and say, this is the way I love to be, this is the way I want to be loved, yeah. They communicate how they want to be loved. You have an understanding, and now reciprocity is created. It's flowing. That can happen it's so much that you said that I could just go off with.
Well, wait, can I pick it back on something?
Yeah.
So you said earlier, you were like, when you're a giver, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're not seeking reciprocity, right? What I will say is like, identify the core value in that. If you're a giver, your core value is generosity. Right. You are a generous person by nature. So, however, you are a generous person by nature, that makes you full. Like, to give makes you really full. Like, you're okay. Right? Okay, so speaking of, that's my mom. If anybody knows my mom, like, this woman shops for Christmas gifts. Like, I'm sure she has started already now. Like, shout out to Margie. Yeah. Because everybody got Christmas gifts already. Right? Everybody. She just be hiding them. Right? So, that's my mom. My mom is generous. My mom is a giver. All the time. And I remember when I was little, I used to think that was like her weakness. Like, I was just like, you're just so submissive. Like, you just give kind of deal. But that's what makes her happy. But see, that's where my love language and her love language were different. Because in my mind, I operated on reciprocity, was looking at it like, you're giving, but what do you get in return, right? But then I had to accept her and say she's giving because that makes her feel loved, right? But I'm sure that it's a blend and it's a balance of love languages. I'm sure that she has a secondary love language that will help enhance how she can receive it back. You know what I'm saying? How she can get it back. And that's, to me, is the reciprocity part. That's the flow part of it, because that's what she needs. I remember my mom is a giver. I would give her gifts like all my entire life. Lavish my mom with gifts, y'all. I'm talking like 24 karat gold, all kind of stuff. And I was a teenager. I don't even know where I got this money back. I was a hustler. No, I'm just kidding. I was. But
this is the funny part, though.
That part.
I'm waiting for it.
Okay, exactly. So I'll give her the 24 karat golds. I will buy her the bags. Like, I'm talking the big purses, the luxury purses, like all kinds of, and I learned to give the way that she gave, which means that the gifts were not just, oh, I thought you should have this, or, you know, like one time I got a rug, y'all, for my birthday, like a whole area rug. I was like, this for everybody's feet. Like, what? You know, my level of gifts is like, I want to give you something that touch your heart. You know what I'm saying? That's something I know means something sentimental to you. And so I learned that through her. And so I would be giving her gifts that I thought were like, oh, she's gonna love this. Like, oh my God, I'd be so excited. Like, I'm like my daughter. I tell everything. Like, ooh, I can't wait to give you this gift that I bought you. She's like, what is it? Da, 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 da. Like, just nuts, okay? But I was so excited. And I would give my mama these gifts, and y'all, listen to me clearly. I hope my mic is on. This woman ain't never worn any of it. The jury says, I don't even know if she had this stuff no more.
She don't care about none of that.
I've never seen her in it. And I use never loosely, but very tightly at the same time.
She don't care about none of that.
The purse, I had to ask her the other day, when she had a Walmart bag strapped across her, and then the handle was falling off of it, and I was like, where is the bags that I buy? I said, I buy you luxury so that the handles are less likely to start breaking. They won't break like this. They may, like, the lining may come off, the leather may come off. And she was like, what bags?
She don't care about none of that.
So I had to learn. That wasn't my mom's love language. I learned love languages. I was like, that's not her love language. Like, that's why she looking at me like I'm crazy, because I'm like, you are so ungrateful. But it wasn't her love language. And so my mommy's love language is quality time. If I had to say anything, she loves to be in the space with you, kind of deal. So yeah, and this ain't even an episode about quality time, but like, it's just the core values. It's leading identifiers to everything.
It leads into who you are.
Yes.
And it's okay to be who you are. And I encourage everybody to sit down and really find out who you are. Not your roles. Who are you? If I ask you the question right now, if we ask you the question, who are you?
Yeah.
What would you say? And a lot of people can't answer that question. That's why we had to get to this. And when you do that, then you start really finding out who you are. You become the new you, because you write down the good, the bad, and the ugly. I do this, I'm this. And I don't mean that to knock your spirit down. I mean, be for real of what you do. So then now you know how to move forward and create the new you. Mine, like on this journey, I used to say, God, who do I need to become to get to where I'm going?
Ooh, yeah, she did. She says that all the time.
All the time.
Every time we're in a transition, you remind us of that. And I'm like, ooh, that's good. It's a good reminder.
I'm in a transition now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? And so it's like, God, what in me do I need to start getting rid of that can't go with me to the next space, the next dimension, the next whatever it is you have for me, to ultimately who you're calling me to be, ultimately walking into my purpose completely, right? Well, I made structure is a big thing of mine because I like to just flow. I'm a creator, I'm a visionary, so my structure doesn't look like everybody else's structure. However, with that, I had to start to learn what my structure looked like, right?
There you go.
Time box. That ain't me. However, I tried it just to see. That's not me. But once again, when you start identifying your values, who you really are, okay, let me accept what I am. I flow this way and I flow that way. That's how I create. Okay, so what does my structure need to look like for me to flow and create? There has to be something that kind of balances out everything so things get done. However, I don't have to be so task oriented because that's not me. That takes me out of my creative space, right? That's who I am. Accepting who she is. Because I know when it's a time thing or things need to be done, hey Noel, I got this for you because you're going to keep us on task for this. So not only am I accepting that has now become one of my values, but I also know I have to be in this certain space to create.
Yep.
That's me.
Yeah.
That's how I create. Be the CEO. That's how I create Gym Fit. Being in that space. But that's me.
Yeah.
If I didn't sit down and really say, what are these things? How do I know God's calling me to do all these other huge things.
Yeah.
He never said I had to change who I was to get there. There may be some things I have to take out that won't help me get there. I may have to take procrastination out.
Gotta evict it.
Because that won't help me get there. But he said, I gave you the vision. I gave you the provision. I gave you the vision and the provision for where I'm taking you. So I'm not asking you to change who you are because I already knew who you are is what is going to create this big thing and make a big impact. I'm asking you to take out the things that aren't from me, that you developed from flesh to get to where you're going. And so that's just part of the identity. A lot of times we don't know identity because we don't know who we are and whose we are. Y'all know I say that all the time. And once I developed that, once I sat down with myself and really developed those core values,
right,
and really got to really know me, life for me changed. I started attracting the people who were supposed to be in my life. My environment changed. Everything shifted. And that just changes your world, and you get on this road of this new journey, and that's how Redefining You came about.
Yes.
That's how this episode of identifying your new you.
Yeah.
That is your new you.
Yeah.
And we're constantly working on a new you. It doesn't just happen. It doesn't happen overnight, and you just don't stay that way because we're constantly evolving, because our world is always changing. Things are always changing. So just because you have this one part of you right now in this season, it may not stay in this season.
Yeah.
The next season may require for you to boost one thing. I'm obedient. I'm very obedient to God, right? This season, I was somewhat obedient. The next season, he was like, I'm calling you to another level of obedience, right?
Yeah.
So I had to develop more obedience. I had to add more into that. I'm still exactly who I am. I'm just having to add that. So everything you're talking about, yeah, we go from reciprocity, we go from all these different values, but it's ultimately, who are you?
Lead to your identity.
They lead to your new identity. All right, I can go on a tangent.
Oh,
right?
God.
Especially when God started speaking,
It's so much that you said, though. Oh, God, I'm trying to, process it all to put it back out there and confirm it, and especially, I got to go to the Word. So I got two. Yeah, so remind me, second one is weakness. So first one is somewhere between Genesis and Revelation. I'm back in my true form, my identity. Somewhere between Genesis and Revelation, in the book of Isaiah, possibly, it says the old things must pass away.
I don't remember. Old things pass away so that the new things
The former things pass away
really
so that we can bring a new. Okay. That's the word. Somewhere in there.
Somewhere in that.
And we're joking, but we're so serious. Like I know somewhere in Isaiah that is the word. And the word was that these former things pass away so that you become anew. But it's all through Christ Jesus.
Absolutely.
Right? And I mean, really honestly, you can look at Ephesians 2:10. It says the same thing. Right. Like in it is you become anew in Christ so that you can do the good works and you can actually perform them because they were prepared for you long ago, right?
Right.
But we got to do them. So that's another one. But so in that being said, just like you said, it's the new identity. It's the new version of you. So I love the people who are like, new year, new me kind of deal, right? And it's like, no, like, do you know
the true you?
That part.
That's why I said write down all. The good, bad, ugly, all those things. All of that matters.
It all matters. Because we need to really sit with ourselves. Because I remember this season with these core values, we were quiet. We were hurt.
Right.
We were digging. It was like a well was being dug inside of us. And it was just like, well, I know I got to hit water at some point. Something got to flow. Because this looked dark. This looked dirty. This is hard. This is deep in us because it was going to the core. It was going to the soul to pull these values out. And once we got there, the water was the identity. Right. The living water. There's water and there's living water.
Absolutely.
Oh, God. Come on, Holy Spirit. I'm flowing. I'm hot. Okay. Right. The water, would you like the water in your well or would you like the living water? Absolutely. That never runs dry and you can drink of it always. It always flows. Absolutely. We want the living water. The water in it says, well, these are my identities. These are my core values. My core value is power. Right? So I'm a powerful person. I can walk around. I can get whatever management job I want. I can boss people around. I can be controlling. That's an identity when you in flesh identify yourself. Right. But when you want to dig the well and you want to hit the living water source, it is the constant source, which tells you are not only are you powerful in the flesh, but do you realize the amount of power that you possess in the spirit? Right. Do you know that you have dominion over this earth and you can speak to things, as we talked about in the last episode, and you can move mountains? Do you know that you have the power of life and death in your tongue? Absolutely. Use it. Right. Like literally, you know that you can believe beyond this world, that you can change situations, environments, worlds, cultures, and people with just a simple belief. Right? That's the level of power that I had to tap into, that we had to tap into when we were digging that well, because it was the living water. It was literally Jesus sitting on the well, meeting the Good Samaritan woman. This woman identified herself as a divorcee, and she was sleeping with another man that Jesus told her flat out wasn't her husband, right? But that's the ironic part about the word, right? Because, Bible and biblical aspect, there was no marriage. Like, you didn't walk and got married in a courthouse or have a ceremony. Right. No, you consummated marriage, right? But she was living with a man kind of deal. But Jesus told her, I'm the living water. You thirst for this, but I'm here to quench your thirst. And she challenged him on this, right? So, not to get all into that story, y'all look that up. That is somewhere between Genesis and Revelation. Can't pinpoint you on that one. But just to say that when you get to that source and you realize that your identity and you realize why you were created, when God reveals to you your true identity, you begin to put the pieces together and help understand purpose. Right. A lot of people are searching for purpose. Because I tell you, we're breaking culture norms with these conversations. A lot of people are searching for purpose. Your purpose does not come before you understand
who you are
and whose you are. Right. Your purpose comes after that.
Absolutely.
So all the people that are in an identity crisis, let me explain to you what an identity crisis. I can whip my phone out right now and tell you, because the real thing about an identity crisis is it lays out all the attributes and all the things about depression. It's chaos. It is lack of motivation. It is pain. It is hurt. It is sadness. All of these things, right? That's the triggers for identity crisis. Right. We go through all of those things. Think about a person who's searching for, don't they typically have all of those attributes?
All of them or some of them, and they're just now seeking to get out. Like you said, it's like a person falling, just gasping for air, trying not to fall.
That's exactly, because they're in an identity crisis.
Right.
Because they're searching for purpose, but you've missed a step. You've missed the step. That's why we laid the foundation in this episode with these core values. And you could do that. You could dig out a Myers-Briggs test to kind of figure out a couple of core values. However, you know, our recommendation is always going to be therapy. However, if that isn't your repertoire, then, you know, you could dig out and find these attributes about yourself. But I challenge you to pray on those attributes and to seek divine intervention on those attributes and those core values so that you can understand how they play in the kingdom.
Right.
Because that is your purpose.
Right.
We serve one purpose.
Right.
And that is to grow the kingdom. It is
Absolutely.
to bring more people to the kingdom of God and give him the glory for it so he can get the glory out of it. And so when you realize your divine identity, your spiritual identity, the true version of you, your highest identity, then you begin to walk into purpose. He begins to reveal to you. He graces you with purpose.
Right. And even before that, you begin to figure out your gifts. Because in identity, you figure out what you do so well.
You're so good. I was going there. Yeah, I love it. You just flow right into it.
I'm just thinking, you're like, well, because it's a real journey. This was a real journey for us. This is not made up. We really walked through this.
Yep.
So in the identity, you're looking for that gift. What do I do so well? And as you do that, you flow right into your purpose.
Yep.
Or you start getting led to your purpose.
Absolutely.
So,
you realize how your gifts and talents play out into your purpose.
Right.
That's what I realized, like, from core value of reciprocity led me to realize that is reciprocity to me is a form of balance. Mm-hmm. It is a yin and a yang. When I realized that balance was peace, balance was soul awareness, balance was the peaceful place where my soul was at its highest version, right? Meaning that my mind, my body, my spirit, and my soul were all operating at its highest self. So I was in balance. I had peace about myself. So reciprocity was the balance. It is the balance of life. Therefore, how does that trickle down into my purpose? Well, I was gifted at it because it was a core piece of me that was always existing. So when I was in my calling, my marketplace ministry, which is what I do in real estate, I realized that I was gifted. How am I naturally gifted at real estate? Because I served with reciprocity. Right. I always showed up all the way back down to my core value because it was a part of my identity. Yeah. And it makes me a great realtor. It makes me the top producing agent that I am, all the way to how does that look in the kingdom, right? So that's the next level. Everything we're going to teach you on Redefining You is we are not only helping you discover you, because that's just rewriting the story. We're taking it to the next level, which is redefine even that story. Take that story to the next level, right? And that's where I had to realize, how does reciprocity play out in the kingdom? Yeah. It's where I serve. Right. It's where I desire to serve in a church, in the kingdom, in Christ's church, in his body, because I know that in doing that serving, I'm giving freely because I know that I will receive God's favor in return of expectation.
You see how your acts of service plays out in that?
Yes.
Based off of who you are?
Yes.
Because see, for me, I got it completely different. Mm-hmm. Oh, my obedience to God. My time with God. All this plays back to who you are. Yep. And he already knows. This is how he created you. Yep. Right? This is the way I love. Yep. And God's okay with accepting you giving him the way you love. Yep. Because he's going to give it back to you in the same way.
Every time.
Right?
Press down, shake it, and run it over. Every time.
Every time.
Yep. And we believe that. Core values. It's the belief system that we have. Right. We accept and embraced our identities. Like, it was like, oh, this just makes so much sense to me. Like, you know? And, yeah, I mean, guys, it's so deep. We could go on and on about identity. Right. But, like, in simplest form that we can explain to you is just how important it is to get to a space to digging out core values, to figuring out one level of identity and taking it to the next level. Absolutely. He will show you exactly who you are. Oh, that's part 2.
The weakness. I thought we were still going on 1 still.
Oh.
But 2 is weakness.
2 is weakness. Okay. Part 2 is weakness. My second point I wanted to make was weakness. So you were saying something earlier where you were saying you were saying, like, you know, we have to evict all of these things out of us, kind of deal, right? Yes, there are demonic spirits that we have to evict. There are attributes that do not serve us in a season, right? And then we have to get rid of those, right? Like lack of self-control. Like that lack of self-control diminishes my power. It has to go. It has to go, right? And so, therefore, it's evicted. So, therefore, I wanted to say, however, there are areas, and the word says in 2 Corinthians, you find it. In 2 Corinthians, the word is, for when I am weak, he is strong is a version of it, or for when I am weak, I am strong. Yeah. Right? To me, what that meant was embracing my weakness.
Absolutely.
It's gotta go with me sometimes. Like, it has to come with me because it can come with me, but it's not my focus point.
Right.
It comes along with me, and I'm gonna explain this in another way to help you understand. My weakness comes along with me because when I am weak, that gives God the opportunity for Holy Spirit, to take lead and be able to strengthen itself in that area, so that I can receive abundance. Right. I can receive the whole part of it, the whole pie. I'm on fire today.
Because I was just connecting with you to say, I was just about to connect with you on the same thing.
The Spirit is so large. It's so filled in this room. But yeah, that weakness comes with me because it gives God the opportunity to move in a situation. It gives God the opportunity to take up space in your life. That's where your obedience, like, let me give you an example. Your obedience is your strength, but your doubt is your weakness.
Right.
Right? Right. But as much as we want to evict the doubt, right?
It drives.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Because really what you're saying is my faith and my fear. My faith says this, and it may dwindle sometimes, and it may be as small as a mustard seed. Right. Right? But can we evict the fear all the time? No. Because the fear is the weakness. Sometimes you need the fear. Because let me say what fear is the fuel of faith. That's why you start hearing whole people now, people of the kingdom, are out here saying, do it scared. That's what we mean by do it scared. Right. We mean do it, faith with works. Do it scared, with a belief that it's going to be okay, because you're giving with the belief that God is with you in it. He will never leave you. He will never forsake you, because he's going to come in, and where that fear is, he is omnipotent. He's going to overcome that fear and let that fear be the same thing. The same thorn in your side is going to be the thing he used to drive you to the next level, to push you into purpose, to push you past your fear, to push you into like that faith that I believe, that supernatural faith. Right. And that's where your strength comes in. Right. That's where the strength to achieve. That's where the strength to walk in abundance. That's the strength that you walk in true identity. That's the light.
Right. So let's say this. Let's not take the weakness out. No. Where are you making the things that just can't go?
They don't serve.
They don't serve, and they will do nothing for your purpose or the next thing or the next place God's taking you. However, in your weakness, you're absolutely correct. That weakness, where God comes and he attaches to it, and he says, let's go.
That's it.
I got this part. That part that you're so worried about, don't worry about that. I got that. Right. I'm your strength in that weakness. But that thing that is strong in you, let's take that and let's ride. Let's go.
Run with it. When you're in the kingdom, that's so deep, because in my kingdom businesses, I don't coach to people's weaknesses. I coach up their strengths. Because guess what? Whatever person on my team, if a person on my team is weak on social media, guess what I can do? Hire somebody else. The second part of the team. We're stronger in numbers automatically. Right. The second person on the team, I hire to social media. Don't dwell on your weakness. You may not be weak in social media, but you are absolutely strong when it comes to organization and written communication. Right. Why would I coach you to do social media and distract you? Think of them distractions. Put you out of your peace and your creativity. Remember, peace is the thing that allows progression. Right. Why would I distract you from that when I can believe God for the other person to come with that strength, and he will provide that person.
Right. That's what. Okay, so I got so much because you said that 3 things, right? They say in business, right? Hire the people for the things that you can't do.
There you go.
I know I'm great for that. I know I'm great in my creative moments. Everything else, I literally said this to Kim the other day when we were talking. I said, God keep putting all these people around me. They got all this structure, right? I think God's trying to tell me something. Maybe that's the last piece of this. She's like, no, he's putting those people around you because that's the thing that you don't do. So he brought these people to do that thing so you can operate best in the thing that you do.
There you go. Strengths.
Right? Not only that, I didn't forget the third part. Because it was so much as you were saying, I'm like, yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, what were we talking about with Leah? Put my word on it. That weakness, God says, put my word on it.
I love it.
And I just think about the heart. Once again, guys, I know I'm the nurse. But I think about parts of the heart as all these different operating parts, right? And it's the one part that is weaker than the rest. God created us beautifully.
Oh, God, I just listen.
Beautifully. For the rest to learn how to still work with each other to keep going. However, when you replace that part with something that's stronger, let's say it's a valve for most people, and I know everybody may not get this, but your heart has valves. But that one valve that you may have been born with, it doesn't work well.
Right.
And we go in, and the doctors, the surgeons go in, and they place a different valve that's stronger than the one that you would have ever had. We replace that weak part. So we replace that with God's strength.
Yeah.
That heart works like it's never worked before because it has this power going through. Wonder working power. God.
Ooh, I felt that.
That wonder working power that's just moving.
Right.
Right? That heart beats like it's never beat before. It's like a new heart. Because that one little thing where it was weak, God said, I am strong. And now that one little thing that we put his word on has now changed the heartbeat. It beats powerful now. Before it beat, it worked. But now it beats powerful. And you thought that one little weak thing could slow you down. It did to a certain degree. But boy, when you put God's word on it, it changes things.
It changes everything. His mighty hand just coming and stirring and shifting things around. And it's just like, do we make room for him? Or are we going to settle for the lowest version of our identity? Are we going to settle in, I'm a powerful leader on earth? Or I have kingdom power. I have divine power. I have the power to move mountains. I have the power to tell my problem to go away.
Right. Absolutely. And we forget.
Right. Okay, Peter in the boat. Listen. Y'all ever hear me tell the story about Peter and Jesus sitting in the boat with Peter? Listen. I'm telling y'all, I'm going to, I don't know where this came from, but one day I'm going to do maybe I do that in a podcast. Do my version. I'm gonna do storytelling in the Bible. I'm gonna do my version of storytelling. Is it I don't know what they want to call it, like a Ebonics?
I was gonna say Sarah says she
wants an Ebonics Bible. She want to write an Ebonics Bible. I want to do it in storytelling. Because the way that I read the word, y'all, I read the word like it's better than movies, soap operas. It
real. Really is. The Bible is one of the best books you could ever read. So much be happening.
It's the best book
that
you could ever read. But when I tell you the revelation hit me about Peter in the boat with Jesus, so first and foremost, Jesus was sitting in the boat with Peter like this, y'all. This is what I believe. I believe that
Jesus was asleep.
He was sleeping Indian style. I'm sorry, Lord, if you weren't. But this is the Noel's version of the book, okay, of the Bible. Jesus was asleep in the boat in Indian style. He was at peace. So, you got to get shalom. You got to get into the peace position, which is in Indian style. That's why I sit like this. I sit with my legs up all the time because I'm like Jesus. So I'm trying to be like him. But, so yeah, he was asleep. And so Peter and I, God forbid, because some of my story got gaps in it, but it get to the point. So I don't know if other people was in the boat with him, but I know that Peter was a skilled captain of the boat. He was a skilled captain, boat driver, and they were all fishermen, right? And, this is that point where Jesus is telling them, take him across, because they were going to, I want to say Galilee kind of thing. They were going across the Jordan River.
Right.
They were crossing over because the people on this side of the bank were believers.
Right.
He was going over here. He got to get the others. Right? So he's going after, and that's Jesus' whole mission. People think he comes to talk to the saved. Why? That's what kills me about modern day church. Like, why are we preaching to the masses of the saved people? God already got their hearts. God already got them. He just gonna convict them till they get right, kind of deal.
Right.
But he got them. It's the other people that are of the world that we need to be saving, right?
Right.
So that's what Jesus was doing. He was telling the disciples, like, help him, Peter, lead me across the thing. He's Jesus in human flesh, but he's still God. He's still a God. He's still the God. So he knew the storm was going to come. That's why I think Jesus was playing all this, because he was asleep, right? So he would sleep peacefully through the storm. But yet, the crazy part about the whole story is everybody thinks it's about Peter. Everybody thinks it's about the part where Jesus wakes. So Peter flips out. They're crossing the thing. A storm comes. Peter flips out, wakes Jesus up. Jesus gets up. The thing is, Jesus calms the storm just by speaking to the storm, right? So it's another moment where the disciples are like, ooh, my God, he's so powerful, right?
That's what they did?
Yeah. I tell you, I have the best storytelling in the Bible. I tell you, like, it's movies in my mind, right? So they're all like, oh, my king. Like, oh, you stop these storms. What else can you stop, right? But everybody stopped their story there. But the most impactful part of the story was what happened after Jesus stopped this storm. He denounced, aka cussed Peter flat out. Because he was like, do you not know who you are? Do you not realize the power and the authority that lies within you?
That you have.
You have. He was like, do you not know who you are? It was Jesus saying, do you not understand your identity? Do you not get, you are it's a reason I'm in your boat sleep. If Jesus didn't think he was going to cross that storm, then why would he have fallen asleep?
Right. And first of all, he chose your
boat.
boat. So he knew who you were.
Your boat.
He knew the power you had. And he went to sleep.
Because
you only go to sleep in a safe space.
That part.
Right.
He understood your boat.
Right.
So Jesus denounced him. He went off on him because it's like, you need to understand the power and identity that is within you. This is what I need you to understand. Yes, you are your one layer of identity is you're a captain. But when all hell broke loose, you forgot that. That's why you need the next level of identity. You need the next level of spiritual divine identity, because you need to understand that when all hell breaks loose in the natural, you can tap into another space realm where you can be able to speak those things as if they are, and you can calm your own storm because it's within us. We got the power. We have the dominion. That's from the beginning, from creation.
Use it. But you gotta know who you are first.
That part.
You gotta know who you are.
So I thank you guys. I gotta wrap up.
Yeah. I think we've said enough on identity, and we've talked about all the things that you really need to start figuring out who you are truly right now and who you're moving into for that thing that you're moving towards. So get your journal out, write down all of these attributes, good, bad, ugly, right? Even those fears, right?
Yeah.
All those things that can counteract your weaknesses, write those down too. Because you put God's word on it, he's going to push and shift some things in your life with your weakness, powering and pushing your strength to a whole nother level. And yeah, we got to evict some of those, things that can't go.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely have to evict some of those. However, just work this exercise out. I promise you, things will start changing for you. So, that's identity. Do the work. Definitely DM us. Email us. I'm B_the CEO. That's BEE _ the CEO on Instagram.
And I'm Show and Sell with Noel at Show the letter N, Sell, SEL with Noel. And that's on all social media platforms. I'm Noel Lawhorn, and that's
Brittany, right?
Yes. So we are here with Redefining You, and that wraps up episode 4, which is Reintroduce Yourself. Love, peace, and blessings.